Hey guys, this is Manshark Sub LPs. I'm Sub, this is Crusader Kings II, and this is Millennia in the Making, episode 36. So we're playing as King Ulrich of Bavaria, Pomerania, and Bohemia, and he is the son of the late King Ludolf, who himself is the son of our original character King Otto. Let's get this timer going. Now we've just finished a nice little war and chasing off some Vikings, as you do. We are involved in a war with the Lotharingian king, well, Lotharingia, Italy, and Burgundy. But we're not the main protagonist of that war, proponent of that war, or whatever word would adequately describe that. We're an ally to the King of West Francia, who is the main guy in that war. I don't care about it. I really don't care about it, and, well, pretty much comprehensively lost that, but that's fine. Doesn't matter to me. The Duke of Carinthia is still being a pain in the arse. So, we've got a few war options down here, which is what we're going to do today. We're going to declare war on some people. It's what we do every day. And it's actually quite good for us to do this, because it gets our realm back together and increases our retinue size, which is the most important thing for us right now. Yes, we still need one more, I believe, shock retinue to even up the retinue's columns. I offered Princess Sophia, my courtier, to hand the buzzard over to the falconer, but was careless enough to forgot to put its hood on. Wait. The grammar and then lost my grip on the jesses as the bird flew to freedom. She will kill me for this. She won't actually kill us. That's a metaphor there. So dear old stepmom. Well, not like that. It's fine. Doesn't really matter. Whatever. Don't care. She's not important to me. We've got some duchies that we can make and so on. There we go, King Charles has lost that war. So let's just have a quick look at what we could do. No, we really don't have any... Ooh! We're going to go on a pilgrimage. We're nice and young, we've got some children. Let's go on a pilgrimage. Sorted. Sounds good to me. Anyway, what was I saying? I have just completely forgotten. Awesome. This pilgrimage is just very important. Let's see. Jerusalem, Rome, or one of the holy sites in the West. Let's go to Rome like my father. So we're going to go to Rome and see the tombs of the apostles. Jerusalem is a little bit more hazardous, even though the Byzantines hold it, because you've got to come across the Med and all this sort of stuff. It's just not wonderful. I can't for the life of me remember what I was talking about. Oh right, the duchies. Excellent. We could form these duchies. We can usurp the Duchy of Bohemia or take the duchies of Silesia and Mecklenburg and just make them. Yes, my journey begins. Wonderful. Count Ernst, our spy master, is our regent. That's alright, he likes us. He's very content with his position. I'm not particularly worried about him being regent. He is 80 years old though, so, you know, he's got on a little bit, hasn't he? Anyway, the duchies, they're a good and a bad thing. We don't want to form duchies in places where there are elective monarchies, because then we give more dukes votes, and those dukes might vote against our wishes and all that sort of stuff. However, dukes get technology. If we remember, I talked about this a long time ago. As a king, we get a particular amount of technology. Dukes also get a bit, but less. We get a 20% bonus for being king. Dukes get just flatline. Counts don't get any technology points. They get the natural improvement, but natural improvement is kind of shit. Okay, you lay awake at night reflecting on your pilgrimage. It's an inner journey as well as a physical one. Are we cynical by any chance? No, we're not. We're actually zealous, so that's very good. We're not going to pick this one. So, we got a bunch of things that could happen here. But the reason why this looks very complicated is because we already have the scholar trait. So, the first option, 10% we gain scholar. So nothing happens in that case. 10% chance of losing scholar and gaining mystic, which is... Well, let's just look at scholar first. Scholar is +2 learning. Mystic is +1 intrigue. 10% chance of losing scholar and becoming a poet, which should be diplomacy. Yep. 10% chance of becoming zealous. We're already zealous, doesn't matter. 10% chance of depressed, which is bad. Or 50% chance of no effect. I would like no effect here. Looks like we got it. Wonderful. And that's because I didn't want to lose scholar, because scholar has almost put us to the 8 points of learning that we're trying to get. And learning is very good. Now, I don't believe we can declare a war right now. Huh. I guess we could. But we're not going to. We're going to wait until we come back from our pilgrimage. Can't declare war while I'm out of the country. You've finally entered Rome, etc., etc., etc. It's the same thing that we had last time. And 1,000 roads lead men forever to Rome. All roads lead to Rome, after all. My co-conspirator... While we're on our lovely little pilgrimage, we're trying to kill somebody. There's going to be a little boating accident that Princess Amelberga is soon to be the victim of. Right, because we were murdering our way through East Francia, yet again. Ship ahoy! And not the kind of ship that people write about on the internet. The stories of other pilgrims all spoke of how impressive this journey is. This place is. Now you can see it with your own eyes. You can only join in on their praise. What? You can only join in their praise. Right. You are glad that you came here, to one of Christianity's holiest places. It was well worth the journey. Now, if you remember, when our father did it, Ludolf, he had a very bad experience, but that's because he's cynical. We're zealous, which is the opposite. Okay. We'd do it all again if we could. So now we've gained the pilgrim trait, which is piety, and people like us more, and etc. And we're home. So you know what that means. Yes. It means... war. War, I say. We are going to utterly demolish this guy. There is nothing he can do. He's a single county, like a single province guy. He has one ally who he can't even call on because he's the vassal of somewhere. In fact, yeah, he's a vassal of somewhere in Hungary that I don't care about. Speaking of Hungary, though, there is a massive revolt. Look at that, over half the country. Unfortunately, it's really splitting the... It's really split Nitra and Estegom around a little bit, so that's somewhat annoying. We're totally going to try and double tap in on them, though. Wonder what the revolt is for. It's a war for somebody's claim. For Figuere's claim on Hungary. And the King of Konagata, which is... God, where the hell is Konagata? Okay, this place here, in C, all around here, this very It looks awkward, but it is not exactly fragmented. It's about as fragmented as we are, though we're really coming into our own here. We're getting a nice solid block. Taking this area out here has really given us a nice sense of solidarity. 50 tech points. Either economy or military, but I'm going to say military. Hey, got it. Excellent. It's going to be a long time before we can get Miltech 4, but when we do it, it's going to be worth it. Anyway, our army will easily get to this guy. Hopefully we just capture this guy so we don't have to besiege anything. I mean, we don't even have to raise our own troops up. We've killed Amelberga Carling. Ah, success! Amelberga sank like a stone when the boat she was on suffered an unfortunate accident. All evidence of my complicity went down to the ship. Man overboard! So let's have a look at East Francia. Almeric. Okay, so it goes Cunigund, who is this woman, then Clara, who is this woman, and then Almeric Carling, who is this guy's brother from the look of it. Additionally, the king himself is wounded, but he is a skilled tactician, so he's got a bit of health already. We probably can't off him. No, it's very difficult to off this guy. We could pretty easily kill her, but we're not going to, because she's a terrible, terrible ruler. I mean, she's content, she's craven. The only thing good she has is the temperate trait. She's a mastermind field logician, which is good, but she's also a complete imbecile, which is why she has zeros in everything except learning. Amazing. And after that, there's Clara, who is probably not killable. So what we're going to do is leave that alone. Hopefully she gets into the, kingdom position. Let's see if we can marry her to somebody. Just, for giggles, I guess. We've got a lot of lowborns that we could try, but, it's kind of pointless. Yeah, actually, all of these people are basically lowborns or courtiers, and they won't go matrilineal because of that. That's fine. We can't invite her to court. Wonder if we could invite Almeric to the court. Nope. No reason to move. The benefit of inviting somebody like that to your court, as well as being able to press their claims and all that sort of stuff, is if they're in your court, you don't have to barter with anybody for a marriage. You can just say, you're married now. 75% more score. And we captured this dude. I'm not even sure why he's hanging around. We're going to keep him jailed because he's Tengri. I don't know why. Like, why he's hanging out with this guy. Nope, won't take peace yet because he apparently has untouched armies and holdings. He certainly has an untouched holding. For about half a year. So, this Hungarian revolt, must have only just started because it's still at 0%, but we're definitely going to take advantage of it in some fashion. Whether we do that by attacking Hungary itself, though I'm a little skeptical of doing that because then that can draw in the king, though admittedly, if we declare war on the members of the Hungarian revolt here, which we could quite easily do, either for those two provinces or those three provinces, the problem there is that we will also be at war with Hungary and Konigata. Maybe with Konigata, I'm not too sure about that. Probably not. So, yeah, that's just something to be aware of. That if we declare war on these guys, we'll be hostile with everybody here and maybe these guys out here. However, the revolutionary here doesn't have any vassals that any allies that he can actually call to war. He is Tengri, but they're both Tengri, and the only other Tengri guys are over here in the steppes themselves, which is fine. However, if we go into the whole strategy side of things, I don't want to expand past the Lithuania, Poland, Hungary line. Could go into Wallachia, but I don't want to expand into Konigata, because that is Horde territory. That's something which, when the Mongols show up, they'll expand all the way across here, and probably down south as well, though the Timurids, when they show up a lot later, though the mechanic there has been reworked, they show up down here in Persia. Yeah, so the Golden Horde and the Ilkhanate will show up here, they should anyway, and sweep to the west. And usually they get about as far as, Crimea and upwards. So I don't want to expand past Lithuania, Poland and Hungary. I can expand north or south, that's fine. But if I go too far to the east, then I'll get drawn into the horde conflicts, and I would much rather that the hordes just kind of petered out like they usually do. So I'm hoping we'll only need to take this castle, the castle of Domisleach, to win this war. I don't particularly want to sack Pisek or Cladruby. Anyway, the kidnappers overpowered me and made sure I could not call for help by stuffing a filthy rag into my mouth. Luckily, they did not get far away with me. Prince Bishop of Berengar and the guards managed to free me and capture them. Okay. That's cool. Great. Now we took some casualties, but not much, because this is a retinue, so it already reinforces automatically. It's not really a big problem. Oh right, we do have the... Wow, this guy actually is a sizable threat. Well, sizable, he has 191 guys. I want him to rebel. If he rebels, I can take his stuff, and I think he's the one who's in... Yeah, he's in danger of us losing the province if he dies, because it goes to one of the Polish counts or dukes or whatever. And that would not be great for us. You know, just saying. We'd lose Upper Silesia, I think it was. And then we'd have to have a couple of wars with Poland where we're not just taking their stuff. However, I think we can get around that. Let's see, was it Upper Silesia? Yes, Upper Silesia. See, his wife here is the chiefess of Poznan, which is that province there. So it's saying maybe you'll lose Upper Silesia because it'll become, you know, part of Poznan, basically. But if in our next holy war we take the Duchy of Greater Poland, well, that removes that, doesn't it? Because she probably... Well, if she is still the holder of Poznan, she's still going to be, you know, one of ours, so it's not going to matter. You have a look at how my truces are going. So you go to the diplomacy menu. We've got a truce with the King of Aquitaine for 4 years, with the King of Poland for another half a year. The King... Oh, well, Princess Hedvika of Bavaria, which doesn't matter, because Bavaria doesn't exist anymore. Wait, not Bavaria, Bohemia. Very similar names, I apologize. And we have a truce with the Duke of Swabia for ages. That doesn't matter though, because the East Francian revolt has ended. So technically we do have some, you know, claims that we could make on East Francia. His allies... The King of Lotharingia is kind of ambivalent toward... It's the same sort of opinion. The King of West Francia would probably not join in, and the King of Aquitaine would probably not join in. It's a very uncertain thing, and nobody cares about the King of Wessex. So, if we really wanted to get this going, unfortunately it would cost us too much to pay off the King of Lotharingia. Let's check the King of Aquitaine. We could send him a bit of gold and, you know, just to get it out of that sort of thing where our opinions of, well, his opinion of myself and the East Francian are about the same, so it's kind of a 50-50. So, yeah, we just want to kind of get rid of that, I guess. That's if we were to attack East Francia for one of their provinces, which ultimately we do kind of want to do that. I mean, we only need 11 provinces to steal it off him. So that's only 4 more. We have claims on... Well, we did have claims on 3, but we've probably only got claims on 1 now. No, we actually have claims on 3. He's the Count of Göttingen, so we'd get that under our realm. But that's not actually part of... Yeah, that's part of Burgundy, not East Francia, despite East Francia currently holding it. And we'd want to get this all done in the next 78 years, so plenty of time. Monster up here, that would become part of our realm, I believe. And Bamberg would also. So we can get 2 of the 4 provinces that we need to be able to usurp his title. And after that, we might send our Chancellor to fabricate claims, that sort of stuff. What is he currently doing? He's improving relations with Constantinople. Yeah, he should do that. That's kind of a worry. It's not a worry, it's just that we won't be able to call on the Byzantine in our wars. But not really for any decent reason. You know what? Where's the Lotharingian king reign? In Luxembourg, here. Let's get his opinion of me up. So there's a couple of reasons behind doing that. The big one is that it stops him from just declaring war on us. Because he likes us, and he's just going to be like, oh, and no worries, you know, that's fine. I don't think he has any reasons for war on us, though. Not de jure, anyway. Yeah, he definitely doesn't. If we took Schwiz here, he might. Which is why we're going to focus on East Francia itself. Yeah, it sounds like a plan to me. Another annoying thing is Bamberg and Munster aren't going to give us a dominance in any duchy. If it would, then we could usurp that duchy and say, hey, you've got some lands which are rightfully belonging to my guy. And it would be good. Almeric asks, if we're Catholic, and our enemies are Catholic, why are we fighting? Fighting heathens is just a silly church thing, which is 50% chance he gets cynical, 50% chance he gets arbitrary. Don't want him to have either of those. I fight who I like, which is 50% chance of wrath, 30% of cruel, 20% of proud. The only bad one there is cruel. Sometimes, even your brother can be an enemy. Wow. 50% chance he's arbitrary, not great. 45% chance of no effect, 5% chance of paranoid. I fight who I like. He has gained the Wrath trait, which is +3 martial, -1 intrigue and diplomacy. That's good, because we're training this guy up to be a military man. And also probably a counter-duke of somewhere, because he is a Lodolfinger. Can't have Lodolfingers going around being landless, can we? So I'm just going to check on East Francia's men. East Francia, where are you? Not on the first list. Yeah, he's got 3,500 men. We can take him easily, all by himself. If he backs up with Lotharingia, then we've got an issue. We have an expiring truce with Poland in 58 days, and 2 children lack guardians. That's because they're twins. So, Prince Adalbert, my son, these guys are pretty good. We'll get Prince Ulrich first, because we're going to make him a steward. So let's see, stewards. Oh, quite a range here, quite a range. Let's give him to Aleaman here. And the other one could either be a diplomat, a warrior, or an intriguer. Let's make him a... I want to say a diplomat. Wow, the Duke of Brunswick's an idiot. I feel like I should have known that. What about warriors? Oh yeah, let's give him to Bruno or Lothar? Let's give him to Bruno here. Done. And his truce is expiring. We might put the... No, we can't really afford to put these weak claims on hold for too much longer. There's our victory in Dalmasleach, so now we will gain that county, apparently. Yep, we certainly did. I don't particularly want to hold on to it. My phone is flashing like a motherfucker. I don't know why. Weird. Oh, something was trying to update while I was running a stopwatch. Okay, so we dragged this woman out. She can't be ransomed, but the other guy can be. I don't particularly care. So, we kind of want to get rid of that place because... Yes, we would lose the Kingdom of Bohemia and the County of Domislich on succession. They would go to Prince Lothar of Bavaria. Don't even know. I swear to God, this phone is pissing me off. Stop flashing. I need to see how long this damn thing's been going for. Alright. So, I want to get rid of this county. Let's see, this guy owns Pilsen and Boleslav. This guy owns Leitmarich. We'll give him Domislich. And then they can fight over Praha. So let's see, Domislich, done. And that gets rid of the Gavelkind succession screwing with us sort of thing. Now we could just declare war for this piece of Poland. But we're not going to. We're going to go and screw over East Francia. So, gather our men. Now, where shall we attack? We've got some options. We've got... let's see. That's not the guy. This is the guy. Bamberg or Munster? We're not going to go for Schwyz because it's not part of East Francia. So, Bamberg or Munster? I'm thinking Bamberg. Honestly, let's just have a quick look at them. Bamberg has about 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 troops in its county capital. Munster is an actual... This damn thing... I'm sorry, I'm just getting really distracted by my phone because it's flashing in my peripheral vision and saying, hey, I updated something. You should know, you should know. Munster is a prince-bishopric. And would actually be far easier to take. However, Bamberg gives him more stuff. Like Bamberg will give him more troops, all that sort of stuff. So, well, another thing to look for is who exactly we're pressing the claim for. So, Munster is for the Prince Bishop of Osnabrück. Bamberg is for Duke Bruno of Messian. Duke Bruno already has 2 counties, basically the entirety of Messian. And yeah, so that would give him 3 counties, one of which wouldn't be in his duchy. But then he may decide to press his own war, you know, because he wants stuff. All that sort of thing. Can we marry him to anybody? Nah, won't worry about that. So we could take one province in Franconia or another one out of Cologne. Taking the one out of Cologne isn't really going to help us get the rest of Cologne because part of it is held by Lotharingia, whereas Franconia would split East Francia in 2 if we could eventually get through it. So, Bamberg it is. Just let our troops move into position. We want this to be a fast war. And in fact, we would like it to be so fast. Our daughter has reached legal age. She is now a fortune builder. Good on her. Is there anyone who I can marry her to? The King of Scotland? That wouldn't actually be too bad. The King of Georgia. And a bunch of counts and dukes and all that sort of stuff. The Duke of Orleans, that would get us a bit of a better alliance with the King of West Francia, but he's a Carling. And he's only 35, so they'd probably have children, and that could be an issue. Because he won't marry her matrilineally, because, well, he's a duke. We're not going to marry her to a Littlefinger. That would be a little creepy. Not totally, you know, beyond us, but yeah, little creepy all the same. Alright, let's see if there are any eligible Carlings that we can matrilineal marriage. So she's 16. That's my brother-in-law, he's 13. Because he's heir to a county, he won't matrilineally marry. Geldon here is heir to a duchy, so he definitely won't. And Bernard here is heir to a duchy. Yeah, it's just... it's awkward, isn't it? All of these kids are heirs to places. Maybe the Duchy of Tyrol. Actually, let's have a look at some of my local counts. It's going to be negative prestige to do this sort of thing, but you know what? Whatever. Wow. Okay, so this guy's heir is pretty old anyway. But who comes after him? Ludwig and then Wigerick. So Ernst. Where the hell? Ludwig must be this guy's kid. Yes. Wonderful. You. I believe you should marry Christine. Matrilineally. They will totally do it. You fools. The entire point there is to get more stuff in Littlefinger's name. Yes, wonderful. We're not going to start plotting assassinations, but if we look at how this lineage works, Count Ernst is 80 years old. He will not be having any more children, and he will probably drop dead fairly shortly. Ernst here, great naming, guys. His heir is 58 years old. His wife is 57. No more children. Just won't happen. And he'll probably die fairly soon as well. Ludwig, 27. He's got a lovely, fertile Littlefinger bride who he is matrilineally married to. That's all good. Now, this guy. 3 allies that we care about. One of which who will probably back us in war and might actually join in on our side. One of which it's kind of ambivalent. And another one where it's kind of maybe us, maybe not. We're going to get a little bit more money and pay off the Lotharingian. Yep, that's exactly what we're going to do. Huh. Well, that's something I forgot about. If you have a smaller army than somebody else, you can ask the Pope to authorize an invasion of their realm just to take the whole fucking thing. We could do it with Lotharingia because, well, look how big it is. We can't do it with East Francia because we own more stuff. And that's for other Catholic rulers. We could probably do it with Aquitaine if we really wanted to. Nope. No, actually, because Aquitaine is very small. I forgot about that. Maybe West Francia. No, see, we're getting to the point where we have too many provinces to actually attack a place like that, to take the entire kingdom. So what we're doing is just waiting for the month to tick by so that we get a little bit more income. That'll do. We go to the Lotharingian and say, hey, buddy, pal, here's 227.7 gold. Not to interfere. And we hope that he honours that little agreement. Little beneath the table agreement, if you know what I mean. When we declare war for Bamberg. But first, let's get our troops moving. And good. Money's no issue. 25th of December. I am hoping that when we raise our troops, we won't have to deal with having too many. Oh, I just remembered something. Let's just declare war. This is one of my favorite parts of the game, even though it's not really a thing in the game. And we'll call... okay, so he does like our enemies too much to join in. But he, what do you say? He probably won't join in on the other guy's side either. Anyway, this army will get to Bamberg on the 25th of December. Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Let's raise our own armies. And how much did that cost us? Okay, so we're not going to be losing money. Wonderful. Yep, so he's raised his armies. Nobody else has joined in yet. Really hoping the Lotharingian doesn't join in, because that would be an issue. East Francia has approved the institution of High Crown Authority. Well, hopefully there'll be primogeniture soon, because I can really mess with primogeniture. My son is being too honest again. Do I want him to be honest? Yeah, I kind of do. But my dear lady, you are fat. Yemen. Everybody get in. Get in on this lovely Yuletide gift that we're giving to the East Francian. Oh, they're just here for Christmas celebrations. With swords? See, he does have, like, you know, a fair amount of guys. There's no doubting that. But hopefully, you know, he doesn't have the amount that I have, but if he gets his allies in, he might start getting up there. So hopefully he's just not able to call in any allies, and that's why we paid the Lotharingian 200 gold, which is a significant amount, I must say. And we had to pay him that much because he's king of three places. You know, he's kind of important. Ugh. The West Francian wants us to come into a ducal war, which means it's a de jure ducal claim, for Duke Guillem's claim on Poitiers, which is this place here. Who else is involved? Nobody. We're going to get involved in that, just so that we get a little bit more opinion here. And also because, I'm going to be quite honest, he doesn't need us. He really doesn't need us. It's almost insane why he's called on us there, but it does mean that he can't join in the East Francian. He has a legitimate excuse not to join in on the East Francian war because he's our ally in another war. So that's technically a good thing. And it's just gotten better because, well, the Lotharingian joined in on our side in that war. So, yeah. Lotharingian won't join in on our little war. We're getting a lot of little factions show up that aren't really all that good. I think Count Walram here has done this because he's kind of an idiot. He married a Norse woman. Why would you marry a Norse woman? I mean, you know, I get the whole Scandinavian good look sort of thing, but come on, guys. We're trying to be, you know, religiously solid here. Huh. Now this is interesting. We own the barony of Altdorf, which is why he looks like he's besieging his own stuff here in Schwyz. We own the barony of Altdorf somehow. I'm not even sure how this has happened. So yeah, you can have provinces where the different holdings in the provinces are owned by people who aren't like the head of the place. Well, I'm starting to think Trude might fancy me. Well, she does have a good strong jawline. So we could make a move, or she's not my type. We have so many children, so she's not my type. We lose prestige for not being willing to, you know, play chess with any random courtiers who happen to throw looks our way. How's the Hungarian revolt going? Pretty well for the Hungarian revolt, so we might Hopefully we get... yeah, this is all fine. This guy is just an asshole. He's Slavic. He doesn't like us. Fine. I accept that. But he's not getting my shit. Although, if we... Because he wants control of a bishopric and a city that we technically have vassalage over. These two places. They are supposed to be his. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to just test this out. We're going to transfer the vassals of those two places. They should be at the top, but let's just check it. He wants Trattenberg and Brieg. So both of these places. So there. Okay. And the next one. Trattenberg. Done. Okay, so he's almost at positive opinion. He won't accept that. I really doubt he will accept a demand to transfer his, or to convert his religion, no matter what we do. That's fine. It doesn't matter. It was a city and a bishopric. I'm not terribly concerned. Yeah, we could come down here and smash up the East Francians' army, but I'd rather just take Bamberg and war score it through. A war where you don't lose any men is a good war. And that's a quote from someone. Me. We could upgrade our church infrastructure, but we're kind of hanging out for either improved keeps or castle infrastructure. Probably improved keeps just to get it tracking along. Even though the next level only gives us fortifications, the one after that gives us good stuff. My prisoner is asking for more suitable accommodations. Well, she is a good Catholic, so I will be merciful. House arrest for you. Yeah, so, again, we just wait these sieges out. It's not a big deal. And the East Francian is leading some troops down here. I don't think he's very good at commanding, is he? Oh, he is actually pretty exceptional at commanding. That could be another reason for us to go and kick him in, just in case we may capture him. Because if we capture him, we either win the war or we can ransom him back for huge amounts of money. Hundreds of gold, I believe. Which we'd probably do because we've won this war. That's actually a nice little way to win if you're an underdog. Is to capture somebody. Well, not capture somebody, but capture the guy who you're at war with. And demand it. I remember my very first game I was playing as Croatia. And the HRE, the Holy Roman Empire, declared war on me and fucking what sort of thing? They had so many armies coming down at me. It was ridiculous. I'd lost. Like it was blatant. I'd lost. I mean, I hadn't lost the game because as well as Croatia, I owned like all of this stuff down here. But I'd lost the Kingdom of Croatia, which kind of a big deal because it was the primary title. Even though it's not huge, I didn't want to lose it. So instead of fighting, 200,000 men with the, 50 grand that I had, Adam here, my nephew, is an elusive shadow. And he's pretty damn good at what he does. In fact, he's better than my current spy master, so when Ernst goes ahead and kicks the bucket, we may appoint him to be spy master. Anyway, so instead of meeting head on with all of their armies and just losing terribly, I pulled my troops off and put them in some boats off the coast. And I just sort of hung there because I thought, well, at least I can keep my troops even if I lose the kingdom. But then I saw one of the armies was being led by the king of the Holy Roman Empire, or the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. So I captured him and won the war. And that was exceptional because it was just so random. We're losing Altdorf. There's no way we're going to hold on to that, but that's okay. because, well, there we go. So the Baroness of Altdorf has lost 10 gold. Because we're going to take Bamberg and then the city of Roth. No big deal. And honestly, he should be moving out somewhere, but he's not. He does have an army up here. He's hired mercenaries. Okay, well, we've got a plan. Just wait for this siege to finish, because I'm not abandoning it. There we go. Let's go down here to Württemberg, and then we'll hit up into Leiningen, I think. Yeah. We're taking out these mercenaries before they become a factor. Stables have been built in München. There's one more building that we can make here before we hit maximum tech, or maximum buildings for our tech level in this holding. We're not going to build the upgraded jousting lists just yet because it's really expensive and doesn't really give us all that much. I do like that we've got some heavy cavalry, and just on the face of it, I should stop leading an army. Really got to avoid doing that as a king. At least until you've got an heir lined up. And while we do have an heir, he's still 5 years away from majority. Okay, 27th, we'll get down there, and he's going to move down into Baden. Let's see if we can catch him. He's going to get there on the 14th. We're going to get there on the 4th. Excellent. We should be able to catch them well before anybody gets into position to do anything about it. And yeah, complete murder. We might not kill them all. I mean, I kind of hope we do. We did. 20% war score. And now we see if this guy is actually going to complete the move. I doubt he will. It would be suicide. I said it would be suicide. Okay, he was headed to Württemberg. That's my mistake. There's no river between Leiningen and Württemberg, so let's see. 10th of December, 1st of December. We've caught them. Caught them easily. And yeah, we're evenly matched in terms of military commanders, except for that right flank with the King of East Francia and the Count of Wolgast. But it's the numbers that matter at the moment. Yeah, see, all of the flanks are losing morale on their side of things. We're losing a little bit, but not nearly as much as they are. And let's have a collapsing right flank. Nope, collapsed center and the right flank. Yep, we're done. And we'll probably have to chase them around a little bit. Yep, 35% war score, killed 2,000 of them, and we're going to chase them into Bamberg. He still thinks that he's got a chance of winning this war. Let's deprive him of that notion. So on the 12th of January, battle will be joined. And by battle, I mean the rout. The heavens can teach us much, and you have been engrossed in the study of astronomy for the past several days. You have learned the names of the celestial bodies and the various constellations, and how to use the stars for navigation. Your learning has improved. +1 learning, that's great, that puts us to 8, which means we should fulfill the ambition. Now we have 2 more ambitions. We can improve intrigue or diplomacy. Diplomacy, because we're 2 points away, so it's going to be easier to do. And yep, bit of a rout going on here. Center flank got wiped out. Yep, we killed everybody. 20% war score. We're close enough, sort of thing. Come on. So yeah, we're just going to finish up by taking Roth, and then we'll probably move back down here and retake Altdorf, just because. But the important thing is that by taking Roth, we either get so much war score from that. Let's unpause the game, subby. Jeez. Yeah, we either get enough war score out of this to win. Yep, Kunigard died. So we were educating him in diplomacy. Okay, let's deal with Carloman because she was educating 2 of our children. Diplomacy, thank you. This kind of guard, I guess. And Walram. He's pretty good. He is ambitious, though. That's why he doesn't like us. That's fine. Let's just switch his education out and educate him in religious studies. Now, kids, that's how you know your parents hate you, if they educate you in religious studies. We're losing a bit of money, probably because of retinue damage. Yeah, see, that costs us a lot to get our retinues back up. It's fine. What we'll probably do, after we finish this siege, if that doesn't tick us over to getting 100% or a win, we'll temporarily move our troops back to our territory, put down levies, and just use the retinue, because this guy has no troops left. Or, you know, he's got a couple of guys. Ludolf has developed a habit for wild parties. Oh, Ludolf, I told you, no parties while I was on pilgrimage. So, there is nothing I can do. 60% chance he gets charitable, which is great. Or a 40% chance of lustful, which is still pretty good. Or curfews. 60% chance of arbitrary, 40% chance of chaste. There is nothing I can do. He is lustful. He constantly spends time with the opposite sex. He's 12! Unfortunately, that does mean that he has a net loss of piety. So as soon as he hits majority, we're going to have to give him something. And no, not a kick in the arse, but we'll probably be taking some land off Poland and just holding on to it. Well, Duke of Tyrol has been shit at his job, so that's made the King of Lothringia not like us as much. But it doesn't matter, because we're in a war with the King of Lothringia, not against him. So we're fine with that for the moment. Just for the moment. This siege will be up fairly shortly, and that's a good thing, because we're coming up towards the end of the episode. There we go. We got a bit of gold. Not enough. No, we did get enough war score out of that to declare victory. Well, not declare it. We have to ask for it. But he's going to accept. There we go. We want it. He accepts our offer of peace. It's now part of our domain. Get rid of those levies. And yeah, we're going to be at positive income. It's fine. So now we have a truce with East Francia. He doesn't have a truce with us, we have a truce with him. For 10 years. That's quite a long amount of time. Now, what I would like to do is get a county or 2 that I can hold on to give to my son. I'm probably going to have to get several that we can give to our sons, but they're all quite well spaced. I mean, the first one we have to worry about is Ludolf here, and that's going to be in 4 years. The next one is Lothar, and that's in 6 years. The big problem with the twins, which will happen in 9 years, is that they will both want lands of their own when they hit 16. And that's fine. What we have to remember to do is after they turn 16, marry them, then give them lands. That way we can dictate who they marry. So before we wrap this up, let's just have a look at our current war options. And there's actually a diplomacy screen for this when I find it. When I find it. There we go. So this is dictating potential targets. The Carlings are there because fuck the Carlings. We've got Shelland up here, which we could engage in holy wars for. Oops. We've got Pomerania up here, which we could also engage in de jure wars for, so that might be a better goer. We've got the County of Praha here, which is part of Poland. We could engage in a de jure claim for, and we can holy war for this little place in Sorbs. Oh, and we've got some stuff to do with Hungary, but that's all holy wars and that sort of business. What I'm thinking is the de jure wars in Pomerania. Because we've got enough crown authority in Pomerania too, after we win the war, to kick out whoever was in that position and, you know, take that stuff back. However, the supply limit is going to be a real pain in the ass. Whereas if we do the de jure war down here, let's just check on how that works. Yep, so, because the King of Poland owns that county, and we can't make him a vassal because he's a king, we just get that county. So that'll be what our next war is. Yeah, that's going to be what our next war is. He doesn't have any allies worth worrying about, and it's not going to be a holy war, so don't care. So we just move our troops over to Leitmeritsch, and we can actually prosecute that without raising any of our levies. At all. Well, I believe if he suddenly manifests a bunch of troops and has them come pouring over the border here, we might need to raise up our levies. But it shouldn't really be an issue. We could revoke counties and all that sort of business, but, you know, don't care. This woman is apparently my rival for some reason. We're not going to try and kill her though, because she's the she's the wife of one of our vassals' vassals. It's awkward. Let's just have a look at how religion's going. So, the Norse religion has pretty much been kicked out of... Well, Jorvik is still held by a Norse guy, but the provinces themselves are Catholic. My aunt died a natural death. That's alright, she had a child. Norse own most of Scandinavia, except for this area, which is interesting. Well, the Norse do own this. It's just not. It's just that the people in the provinces are Suomenesko, and the Suomenesko themselves own all the way out here. That's a huge amount of land, and of course the Norse own this. So going to war with Slavic guys, the Remover guys, and Tengri, because while the Tengri own a lot of land, it's all out here. No one cares about it. So going to war with the Tengri is kind of a good idea. The two Islamic factions, less so, because they're really powerful. And of course, Orthodoxy we can't declare holy wars for, but it's still pretty big. I'm actually surprised to see the Jewish religion going as well as it is. They must have buffed them at some point, because it's not that great, like, as a religion. They only get two things to do, and the only thing that they can really do is come down to Israel and make the kingdom of Israel. That's really the only thing they can do. They don't even have a head of religion until they take Israel. And look at this. This is the only, I think it's the only Jewish nation in the world up here. Khazaria. And it starts off as that. It starts off as Jewish. They've actually expanded, I think, so good on them. But for them to come all the way down here to Israel, past the Byzantines, past the Abbasids, it's not realistic. It's not going to happen. Anyway, next episode we may take on Poland just for a province, or Pomerania. Yeah, that'll be pretty good for us. Alright, so if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them, whether they're about your own game, what I'm doing, what my plans for the future are, because I do have plans for the future. They involve a certain somebody, if I may say so. But that's in the far future, when we're actually the Holy Roman Empire, which we still need to take East Francia to do. We're getting pretty close though. We need, what was it, 200? 220 realm size, and we have 155. So we're getting there. Once we actually take East Francia and take it, we should have a really good chance of forming it at that point, because we're big enough. I'm sure we're big enough. Anyway, I'm getting off track. If you have any comments, leave them under the video. Love to see some. If you liked the video, give it a like. And if you'd like to see more of this sort of stuff, well, you can find the subscribe button. It's down there somewhere. So, in the meantime, I have been Sub. You've been yourselves. Later.